Breaking news here on the Golazo Network. Paris Saint-Germain star Kylian Mbappé is leaving the club after 7 seasons. The 25-year-old World Cup winner made the announcement just moments ago, and a few days after falling short in his quest to deliver PSG's first Champions League title, but did lead the French Giants to 6 Ligue 1 titles, 4 Coupe de France titles, and a place in the 2020 Champions League final. A lot to be proud of in Kylian Mbappe's career with PSG. And in that announcement made just moments ago, here is what Kylian Mbappé had to say.
Salut à tous, c'est Kylian. Voilà, je voulais m'adresser à vous. Depuis le temps, j'avais toujours dit que j'allais m'adresser à vous quand le moment serait venu. Et donc, je voulais vous annoncer à tous que voilà, c'est ma dernière année au Paris Saint-Germain. Je ne vais pas prolonger et je vais terminer mon aventure dans quelques semaines. Je vais jouer mon dernier match au Parc des Princes dimanche. C'est beaucoup d'émotions, beaucoup d'années où j'ai eu la chance et l'immense honneur de faire partie du plus grand club de France, l'un des meilleurs du monde, qui m'a permis d'arriver ici, de connaître ma première expérience dans un club avec beaucoup de pression, de grandir comme joueur, bien sûr, en côtoyant certains qui étaient les meilleurs de l'histoire, certains des grands champions, de côtoyer pas mal de gens, de grandir en tant qu'homme aussi, avec toute la gloire et les erreurs que j'ai pu faire.
There you have it. Kylian Mbappé says his goodbyes to PSG alongside Aaron West. I'm Ali Trost-Martin. We are joined now by Luis García to react to this breaking story this afternoon. Lucho, thanks for taking the time to join us today. The great Thierry Henry said on the Champions League show this week that the legacy of Kylian Mbappé at PSG would be that he's the best player to ever play there. How will you see Kylian Mbappe's time now that we know it's done at PSG?
Hello a tous. That's the way he pronounced to us, how he addressed to all of us, the one we follow the game, and definitely is the biggest player that ever played in the Paris Saint-Germain jersey. Well, we all remember when Ronaldinho was right there, but it was just for a short time. And this is a player who has left a massive legacy. Probably is going to be very difficult to beat the 7th season that he's been involved, winning every single trophy. The league is, I think they won the 7 years. Super Cup, the Cup, the League Cup. They've done everything. He's been scoring over 30 goals plus every single season. This season he's already on 43. He tried everything. He tried to bring Paris Saint-Germain to the next level, put the Paris Saint-Germain to the levels of the Real Madrid, Barcelona, Liverpool, Manchester United, AC Milan, right there to try to fight with them to the biggest competition that is the Champions League. And I think that's the only thing that probably is regretting. This year it was the last time, and probably is gonna regret that moment. And now it's time to move on. We've been waiting and expecting this talk from Mbappé for quite a long time, and now is the moment to see what he has decided to go and what is the next chapter on his career.
Now, Lucho, you mentioned that maybe the only stain that is on Mbappe's legacy is that he wasn't able to bring a Champions League trophy to Paris. But you, of all people, know just how difficult it is to win that trophy. It's not just one man. It takes not just 11 players. It takes a full squad. It takes a lot of luck. It takes a lot of good fortune. Is that a stain on his legacy to not bring that trophy to Paris?
I'm sure that he's gonna feel it because he's a French guy. He's born there and he's got the supporters, the family. When you grow up on a place, you always try to deliver and at least to enjoy everything that the football can give you, near the ones that you love, near your hometown, near your country, and trying to deliver there. Of course, your career is. Mbappe's career is going to be longer, and that's why I think he's trying to find another place where he can probably get that trophy and also try to look for that Ballon d'Or. I'm sure that in his mind he's trying to arrive to that moment that everyone just bend on his knees and give him the crown of being the best player in the world. Now it's a lot of youngers coming. We talk a lot about Jude Bellingham, about Pedri, about Musiala, about Bird. A lot of young players that are trying to reach that trophy. And I think that Mbappé thought, and I think that we all agree, he needs to move on and try to get more trophies and get that Champions League trophy that probably will allow him to believe and to finally lift that trophy of the Ballon d'Or.
A lot of the rumors that have been swirling around Kylian Mbappe's next step have him going to Real Madrid, a team that is in the Champions League final. Lucho, what do you expect is going to happen and the timing that we can expect to hear more on Kylian Mbappe's next step and whether that will be at Real Madrid?
Listen, guys, I think I heard even fireworks near my house because they are celebrating not only that they won La Liga and they are in the Champions League final, but the words from Kylian Mbappé today. I think that, again, we've been waiting for this moment. He talked a long time that he was a fan of Cristiano Ronaldo, supporter of Real Madrid, and dreaming one day to play at the Real Madrid. If we think that he can achieve everything in his football career, if there is one club who can allow him to believe on that, is Real Madrid. We've been waiting. It's been ins and out. He decided yes, and then he get back. And now I think that he's just waiting for Real Madrid to end the season, to win or not to win the Champions League final against Borussia Dortmund very soon in London. But I'm not going to say that I'm 99.9% believing that he's going to end up playing for Real Madrid. But it has to be very close to be a done deal. We have to wait and see what is his decision. But first of all, there is not many clubs who can afford Kylian Mbappé. I think the amounts of millions of euros that we are talking is not easy to handle. And of course, he decided to play for Real Madrid that he mentioned a long time ago. They are right there. So it's a matter of time that we see on white Kylian Mbappé.
Now, Lucho, for me, this is a match made in heaven for Mbappé to go play, not just for Real Madrid because of the club that they represent, but for Carlo Ancelotti, who is a manager who I think can get the best out of players. We know that he's preferred to play on the left throughout his career, but from what I've read, Mbappé is looking to embrace the challenge of playing through the middle. And even if he doesn't, I think that Ancelotti is the type of manager who can get the best out of a Vinicius, a Rodrigo, a Bellingham, an Mbappé, all in the same team. What do you expect from Mbappé if he touches down in Madrid?
Yeah, I felt goosebumps while you were saying the 11 starts for Real Madrid next season without Mbappé and Vinicius, Rodrigo and Bellingham. I think that sounds crazy, but it's true that Ancelotti, you are totally spot on. I think that Ancelotti knows how to handle these kind of personalities arriving to a different club, how create a nice and good environment about allowing him to adapt very quick to a different jersey, to the pressure to play for Real Madrid. You have to win every single game and win every single trophy. If you don't win it, it's a failure of a year. And we've seen Ancelotti just making some changes in the past couple of months in Champions League, with Vini Jr. getting a little bit down to the middle and leaving Rodrigo getting into the left side. I'm not sure if he's already practicing that or it was because he thought that it was good to play against the team that he got in front that way. We saw happening that against Manchester City and in the last game. So that proved that he's open to change the situation, to change the system. He did it. Real Madrid was playing 4-3-3 for quite a long time, and he decided to change it to play a 4-4-2 or 4-2-3-1 with Jude Bellingham playing as a second striker. So he's willing to play and to change the system, and having a player like Kylian Mbappé is going to give you so many options because you can play him in so many different places.
If Real Madrid's attack wasn't scary enough, an embarrassment of riches with the addition, possibly, of Kylian Mbappé. Meanwhile, Lucho, for PSG, the disappointment from this season, and especially in Champions League, is that it really did feel like the pressure was on to get it done with Kylian Mbappé. They made it all the way to the semifinal against a team that nobody expected to get past them, than Borussia Dortmund. Where does PSG go from here as they look to fill a massive void left by one of the biggest stars in all of world football?
Exactly. And it's difficult to replace a player who scored over 30 goals every single season. He's your main player, and he creates so many distraction or disruption in the opponent. But it's true that Luis Enrique has been trying to build up a team not just having in 2-3 stars that we've seen that it doesn't work. We've seen Paris Saint-Germain play with Lionel Messi, with Neymar, with Kylian Mbappé, and not getting exactly the same way the Champions League. So in the end, it's about how you strengthen your team. I'm sure that Luis Enrique has got already a plan. He's been talking about it. He's been left in Kylian Mbappé in some of the games, trying to think about this is what we are going to have next year. So we need to change the mentality and start building on a team without Kylian Mbappé. And I think he's on the way. I think we've seen a very strong PSG, more mature, more adapted to play different ways, not only in quick transition playing to the two quick players that they had up front with Dembele and Kylian Mbappé, but definitely trying to be a strong team, a solid team, good in defense, creative in midfield, and with a player or two players who can be a killer up front. So I'm sure that they are going to try to find, they are going to have money enough to invest. It's going to be easy to find a player like this? No, not at all, because Kylian and Mbappé, they are not many on the market. And a goal scorer, if I can count 5 top goal scorers that can give you 30-plus goals every single season, maybe 3, and it's not going to be easy to get them.
Now, Lucho, you mentioned kind of building this team spirit within PSG, and it almost feels like it may be a relief for Luis Enrique to see Mbappé leave because he was such a massive entity in Paris. We saw him walking down the tunnel at halftime. He's sitting with the owners. He is an acquaintance of the president of France. He is an entity that's almost bigger than a club itself. Do you think it kind of takes the pressure away from this project to see Mbappé leave?
In some ways, yes. It's like when Lionel Messi was at Barcelona. He creates an atmosphere around that is very difficult to handle, to manage in a good way, because they got a special situation for them. They don't run to go to tracking back players. They don't run in defense. They are there just because they can make the difference up front. But in the same way, the ego, the personality, the character of the player, it gets bigger and bigger. It's not easy to have something like that when you want to build a unit, a team that is very well connected. It's got a connection that they fight to each other. And we've seen it before with those 3 up front that I was mentioning. When you have 3 players that they play on their own, they play their own game, but they are not connected to the midfield or defense, is a very big problem. I think Mbappé understood that he needed to be connected, and he's been trying to do the same. But Luis Enrique straight away decided that, listen, I'm going to go and I'm going to try to see forward because I know that Kylian Mbappé is going to leave, and I need to continue moving forward with this project. And again, it's not going to be easy to replace it, but for Luis Enrique, probably it's a fantastic moment to move ahead, to try to figure out what there is the next step, what are the next players that he wants to bring, and start focusing on a team, on a project without Kylian Mbappé.
Now, let's spin that forward, Lucho. This is, again, probably the biggest player in the game right now, and he's moving to maybe the only entity in the world that is bigger than him, that is Real Madrid. How do you expect him to fit in from his point of view? Do you expect him to see him tracking back and pressing? Do you expect to see a little bit more defensive effort? Because we see a Real Madrid that all 10 of those field players, they work, they press, they run. Do you expect to see that out of Mbappé?
You know what happened is that when you arrive to a club that has so much history at the back, that they have won 14 trophies, they could be the 15 very soon. They are leading everything. If you are right there and you don't run, everyone around you, they're going to tell him, listen, you've been here the same way that he's been Cristiano Ronaldo and so many amazing players that went through the history of this club. And all of them has left everything for this jersey. So when you arrive to that kind of moment, you understand that it's not enough with running forward. Of course, it's on the manager, Ancelotti, or the manager who is going to be there in the next 2-3 years. They want to tell him what it means to wear the jersey of Real Madrid, what it means to the crowd, to the supporters, to the club, and to the rest of the players. Because again, he's not going to be surrounded by 1 or 2 top players. We are talking about Ballon d'Ors, World Cup winners, winners of 5, even 6 Champions League. I mean, you can hear what I'm talking. We are talking about players with Nacho, with Carvajal. Some of them have won 4, 5, and 6 Champions League if they win the 15. So that's something unbelievable. So difficult to understand. So Kylian Mbappé arrived to Real Madrid, I'm going to tell you, he's going to run back and striking the defenders.
And how does Carlo Ancelotti get all this talent on the field? Going to be a headache for him to figure out how to put all these pieces together, an embarrassment of riches at Real Madrid. Meanwhile, Lucho, for PSG, what's your expectation for how they're going to approach this summer? Another big star on the way, or developing the youth talent?
Yeah, exactly. That's a big problem. I was thinking about what is the replacement that they can use, that they can bring so many goals. And again, there is no many on the market who can give you straight away 40 goals, 35 goals. There is no many. I mean, Harry Kane moved from England to Bundesliga and delivered. And you knew that because he's done it. Lewandowski moved from Bundesliga to Barcelona and he delivered the first years at least. So there is no many. Haaland is at Manchester City. Those are the players who can score over 30, 40 goals. The other ones who might be able to do it is flipping a coin in the air. You don't know if they are going to deliver because the experience that they have behind hasn't said that they can score 30 goals for 4 or 5 years. So it's going to be very difficult, very tricky to find a player. And if they manage, maybe you can play a different way. Instead of having a player who can score 30 goals, find 2-3 players who can add 10, 15 goals. So in between all of them, they can deliver that. Because if you want to win La Liga, it's okay. You're going to manage because you got enough talent. But if you want to win Champions League, you have to bring the best of the best. And that's not going to be easy because the best of the best are already taken.
Lucho, awesome stuff. Thanks for popping on to join.